Hello, everyone, and welcome to our Digital Inclusion webinar. I am Ana Santiago, Resident Services Administrator at CMHA. We're excited to have you join us today. Our presenter is Ms. Marykate Hammer, CMHA IT Deputy Director. Ms. Hammer will share great digital literacy opportunities and services that are available to you and your family. Without further ado, please welcome Ms. Hammer.
Great. Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for that lovely introduction, Anna. Like Anna said, my name is Marykate Hammer. I'm the Deputy Director of IT here at CMHA. I have loved being a part of the Digital Navigator program, the Digital Inclusion program here at CMHA. I always say that this is such a special program and a special organization to prioritize this type of programming, because as an IT director, we're not only taking care of all of the staff and making sure that they're able to perform their job in a way that serves the community, but we're also able to do the same thing, a very similar thing, for our residents. So I will go into that. I'm ready to start. Okay, so as we move forward, these are the types of things that we're going to be talking about. So I always love talking about our history because we've been doing that for such a long time. And again, not a whole lot of housing authorities prioritize this type of work. Like when I go out to other communities, other states, talk to other housing authorities, they come to us to learn more about what we're doing and why we prioritize it and why it's so important and so beneficial to our community. We have great buy-in from our leadership, so I love talking about that. We'll get into the nitty-gritty of our Digital Navigator programming, all of our goals, how we are sustainable, how we keep going through whatever we're thrown at, what our impact looks like, and then how we plan to keep going in the future. Okay, so let's start with what a digital navigator is. So we work with various partners throughout the city, throughout Cuyahoga County, who also have digital navigators. We are super lucky to be able to support 5 digital navigators right now. That's the largest our team has ever been, and we are definitely expanding and growing. So that is music to my ears. It really means that we can have people stationed throughout the community and we can touch more people, make sure that digital divide, make sure that people are actually getting what they need to get, and we understand why they need that. So this definition that we have is a trusted guide for residents navigating the digital world to ensure everyone can participate. So accurate. The way that we do our service delivery is in this like handy stool picture here, which I love that we've created like specifically for our like Cleveland, Cuyahoga County digital navigators. There are 4 separate categories. So we want people to have quality devices. We really put out there that high is necessary. It is definitely something that we would so miss. We would so miss having high quality, high speed internet. So everyone should have access to that same high speed internet. We have digital literacy skills. So let's make sure that people are able to utilize the high speed internet, troubleshoot it, make sure they know how to use their devices. We are talking about let's make sure that they have emails and they can pay bills online and they can complete applications for their own career online. That takes the skills to do it. So we need to equip people with that. And then classes are lovely, but we also need this general tech support. So the name of the game here is making sure that people are sustainable and they get to go to these classes, but then they also have an outlet to troubleshoot later or ask questions. We love that we have 8-week classes, but we can't learn everything in 8 weeks. And we want people to continue their education and knowledge and also just have someone to reach out to when their computer is absolutely glitching when it just isn't working anymore, and they'll have trusted people to reach out to in the community to get that sort of thing taken care of without having to go to the Geek Squad and pay $100 for it. I know we've all been. Okay. So how the program works, and this is getting more into like our digital navigator program. That's kind of the basis of our digital inclusion program is our digital navigators. So our residents are able to request help in a number of different ways. We are out at the properties. Our digital navigators are stationed at properties on a regular basis. So we have a rotating schedule. Now, the beautiful thing about our digital navigators, rather, is that they are all residents. All 5 of them are residents. So what makes that amazing is that our residents are able to live and serve in the same community. So for example, we have a digital navigator out at in Lorraine Square, and they're able to have classes and tech support on the daily out in that community. So they're not just at Lorraine Square, they're in that community. They touch Fairway, they touch Riverside, they touch the Bel Airs, they touch a whole neighborhood. That's the idea. We're also trying to make sure that when we're hiring digital navigators, these are almost like our rising stars within our classes. And then we are also eliminating some barriers to transportation, as well as any barriers that would be for any like disabilities, things like that. Like, we want to make sure that everyone has the equal opportunity to shine in their like technical expertise. So those digital navigators are super accessible out at the properties. Now, if we don't touch that property, that's okay. We rely really heavily on our property managers to tell us if people are asking for classes. We ask them to make lists, jot notes down about what they're asking for. And if they, get enough people, we usually ask for about five humans to be in a class to make that like a robust experience for not only our residents, but also the partners that we have. And once they say, yep, I got like 5-6 people who are really interested in having a class about a lot of things, we will come out and we'll make that class happen. So our property managers are absolutely vital in letting us know what's going on out at the properties and what people need, what they're talking about, what they're asking for. Residents also have direct access to our digital navigator, digital inclusion hotline. So we have a specific number, and you can call, text, leave a voicemail, and you can ask for specific things. And we have all of our digital navigators who man that hotline, and you'll be called back, or, sometimes we're even able to pick it up live when the phone call is happening. So that will be addressed, we usually say, in about 24, 48 hours. It is widely used, and I can definitely make sure that is something that is shared if you're interested. But we really like giving out the number because it gives people a surefire way to get in touch with us when they need any type of technical assistance. We do a whole lot of personalized support sessions. We do a lot of group classes. And then, let's say we have a class at Bel Air A, and then that 8 weeks goes by, they have graduation, which is a lovely ceremony that we're able to put on. And then let's say 8 weeks later, we'll come back. Come back and maybe do an intermediate class, a refresher class, come back to have tech support time, so that people are being supported in their eventual digital independence. That is the goal here. In order to be independent, you need support going forward until you get to that final place that you want to be at. So we try to be as visible as possible. Okay, so I always like talking a little bit about the need, why we're doing this, so that when I start talking about why our leadership is so committed to this mission, it kind of sinks in a little bit more. So Cleveland in 2021 was called out as the fifth least connected city in the entire United States. So that brought on a whole lot for us, for just Cleveland in general. Now, luckily for the Housing Authority, we've been doing this since 2015. You'll see down here at the bottom, it says Connect Home USA. So in that same year, there was an initiative that said, hey, housing authorities, I'm going to have a group of housing authorities that I know are leaders in prioritizing digital education, digital literacy. And I want you all to put forth an effort to make this something big, something where we actually prioritize making sure that our residents have devices, have the education, have the support to navigate a digital world, and which we all know we are moving full steam ahead with being a part of a digital world. So when that 2015 rolled around, our leadership was like, yes, of course we'll do this, because we also see the need for this type of thing to be a human right, to be something that everyone should have equal access to. So we're lucky to have that type of leadership who really prioritizes this type of effort, especially given where Cleveland falls in the connectivity. So we have the label of fifth least connected city in the United States, which has recently been adjusted, which is so great, which means we're doing the job we're supposed to be doing. We have over 30% of Cleveland households do lack that reliable internet access. And we all know, I know everyone on this call knows that, seniors, low-income families, public housing residents are the most affected. A lot of our residents don't have devices. So that is, again, if we give y'all internet, if we give residents internet, how are we supposed to expect y'all to navigate anything if you don't have a device to do so? And not just any device, a reliable device, and one that you feel comfortable using, one that is of your choice. Sometimes if I give you a desktop, something like what I have behind me, it's like, I don't want that, like I'm too mobile for that. That doesn't serve me. So giving residents the choice to have the device that works for their life, I think is also really important. And we know, we've talked about this, that the digital skills are super essential for just our everyday life. We're talking education, healthcare, you name it. We want to pay bills online. I mean, I even manage my internet online. Everything is online right now. So this is it's a huge barrier if we are not equipping our residents with the things they need to participate in this type of society. So our program goals, and this sometimes our numbers like wane and wax a little bit. So when we're talking about how many people we're supporting on a yearly basis, we have to meet a 1,500 number on an annual basis, mostly for our funding purposes. But also there is a very large initiative going on right now with Digital C. They are a local nonprofit internet service provider, and they were contracted by the city of Cleveland to literally give as many people as possible. And it's a huge number of people that they're asking us to assist with internet access. But blanket is the right word. Give everyone internet service within a 3-4 year period of time. We are in our second year right now, and this 1,500 number continues to go up. Our 1,500 number also is unduplicated, meaning what I report out has to be a different resident each time, which truly, if we're really getting down to it, is a really hard thing to do, because people need repetitive support. So it is missing a storyline for sure, but we will do what we need to do because it's an important initiative. When we're talking about connecting, on a yearly basis, we're connecting about 300 households to affordable internet access a year. Now that also wanes and waxes depending on CMHA's initiative to push out internet service. We have, we'll kind of go through this in a little bit, but we have about 3 different internet service providers that we really partner with heavily. And a lot of those buildings are already outfitted with internet service. And we're just trying to make sure that every single CMHA building has one or many internet service providers for the residents to choose from. Sometimes we're able to get it for free. Sometimes it goes into like a $15 to $18 an hour. So, a month. So we try to keep this as reasonable and affordable as possible. Always. We are constantly distributing devices. So on average, we are distributing about 250 refurbished devices. We do refurbished devices. We have 2 amazing partners, Ret3 and PCs for People, who give us refurbished desktops and laptops. Sometimes we'll do device distributions where we'll go out to a property, we'll have 50 devices to give out, first come, first serve, we'll help set them up, make sure they're connected to internet, all that good stuff. Other times that's through our classes. So we'll have a digital training class at any one of our properties. And as long as you have, pretty decent attendance, we ask our residents to, really commit to the 8 weeks. It's like once a week for 8 weeks. And as long as you're not missing more than like 2 or 3 classes, you get a device of your choice right after that class. So during that graduation, you'll get a device to take home. If our residents have taken multiple classes and they've gotten a desktop and then they've gotten a laptop, we will offer other devices, other accessories, other like digital accessories that we feel are helpful to the residents, like charging blocks and USB devices, things like that. We don't want to continue to just give people laptops on laptops on laptops. So we do want to make sure that is spread out and everyone is getting the device they need. So we keep track of all that. We provide year-round one-on-one support as well as group classes. And this last one, we'll get into this as well, but the last one is the most exciting, where we're really trying to cultivate a group of resident leaders to lead this initiative. Our Digital Navigator program is almost like a train the trainer program, where we have classes and we see who's really standing out. We hire them at a part-time basis. We only have a couple full-time positions, but mostly at a part-time basis. And then we're able to get those leaders out there to recognize other leaders in this like technical world. And then we'll hire them and we'll keep on going. We also work with the local advisory councils. They're made up of total resident leaders. And we will also offer those groups, the LACs, their own set of classes so that they can learn what they need to run their LAC offices effectively. We can support their LAC offices, and then they can also train the residents on, basic computer skills. We love that type of initiative, and it has been working really well. So we're happy about that. Okay. So I think, and this is a great slide to come afterward, I think what I just described is a huge reason why our program is so sustainable is because we are really buying in to our residents. Like we really believe in our residents and the knowledge that they bring. Hiring residents to train other residents is making sure that our resident leaders know what's going on in that community. They know best. They're living in that community. They hear what's going on. They hear the residents asking for other things, and then they make classes based off of what the residents are asking for. It is it's really believing in the like community-based organization. So on top of that, really believing in our residents, which is lovely, and super sustainable, is our ongoing partnerships. We really would not be able to do the work that we're doing if we didn't have so many amazing partners who are also a part of this work. So we partner with, everyone from all of our library systems to our like Olivet Community Housing Corporation, our CDCs. They really make everything tick. You know, all of our devices are from our partners. It's all coming right here from this community. So I think that's also like community feeding community. We do have continuous funding, which is excellent. We have funders that really believe in what we're doing. We have the Cleveland Foundation as one of our biggest supporters. And then we also have St. Luke's. They are focusing on specific neighborhoods, which is amazing, you know, especially our newest like Woodhill locations. And we also have Spectrum. They have been such a support to us in not only providing free internet service to a large amount of our properties, but also giving us the funding to continue our programming, not just for digital inclusion, but also for like our workforce development and things like that. The continuous buy-in from our leadership. This continues to be something that our CEO is such a fan of, not just a fan of, but we need to keep doing this despite anything that's going on in our world. Doesn't matter who our president is, doesn't matter what is deterring us from this type of initiative. We're going to do it. We're going to keep doing this because it's important. Making sure that people have the devices and the internet and the skills, education that they need must continue for the foreseeable future. It's that continuous support. And then our program growth, we have grown. We have like continued to grow in a lot of different ways, you know, all the way from 2015 where we're kind of first starting this and we were figuring out, okay, how do we get internet out at the properties? Who do we partner with? How does this work? How do we build out this infrastructure? All the way to let's get some digital navigators in, to let's focus on our residents and make sure that they are the leaders in this initiative because they know what's going on. Further out the future, which we'll get into, is, you know, some more remote support and really assisting our like voucher participants who are a huge population of our housing authority residents. So I've mentioned this a bunch of times. We'll kind of go into how we're distributing internet out to the residents. So we have 19 high rises. All of our high rise buildings are big old high-rise buildings. They have free Spectrum internet. So the 19 high-rise buildings, it comes with a couple other benefits as well, which is pretty cool. So those residents get free internet. We do assist, like that is a big part of our job, is making sure that the residents who live at these high rises know that they have that free internet option, and then they know how to get it. There is like a specific number that residents can call and they can reach a representative who is supposed to be aware of the agreement that we have with Spectrum, and they'll lead them through the sign-on process. If a resident has a previous bill with Spectrum, that will not affect this type of sign up. So that's like really great news. The other benefits to the Spectrum internet at these 19 buildings is that there is Wi-Fi in the community rooms and some of the common areas. So any of these 19 buildings, we already have Wi-Fi built out, and that is so helpful. So now when we're building out additional internet at some of the other properties, we always ask the partner, like, hey, can we have that community room Wi-Fi? Like, that's really helpful for us, not just for our own digital training, but for the organization in general, for other departments to be able to hold events or recertification times in the community rooms and have reliable Wi-Fi. Super, super helpful. The other cool benefit to having Spectrum internet at these 19 high rises is that those residents also have access to a specific channel on their TVs, or there's an application that we download on their phones, and they can see the front lobby camera. So it's also bolstering our security, which we really love. I know that's like a major point that our residents come to us with. They really want to feel safe, rightfully so, in your homes. And being able to have just the phone in your pocket, be able to pull up who's downstairs, who's in front of that door, in the front is helpful. Okay. We are continually expanding how residents are able to access classes and things just like at their properties. So if we're able, and we're not always able, but if a property has the right space for us to build out a physical computer lab, that's 100% what we'll do. We will take that space and we will turn it into a functioning computer lab, and then we will maintain that computer lab. So like our digital navigators, we take the time to go to each of these labs as often as we're absolutely able and make sure that the computers are up to date, fully functioning, connected to printers, for just general resident use or like ready for a class. Now at the other properties where there isn't really like a designated space for a computer lab, we bring things like this picture here. This is like this is called a charging cart, and this will hold laptops or Chromebooks. I believe this one holds about 32, and we're able to have that available specifically for our classes. If we have a digital navigator stationed at a property that has this type of charging cart, then they'll bring it out and they'll set things up for the residents so that they can use devices if they don't have their own. Even if you do have your own, you can come on down and we'll have other devices for you to use. When I say come on down, you come on down to the community rooms. That's where you can find our digital navigators. And if you can't find them, you call that hotline. But this has been a really nice way to expand the devices out at the properties without having to take up so much space that perhaps our properties don't necessarily have. This can fit in a closet and we can move it in and out. It's another reason why our property managers are so important to this initiative, because they have to find us the space and they have to unlock and lock doors when we have this type of equipment out at the properties. So we do very much, we appreciate and we rely heavily on our property managers to help us out with this. It's a real collaborative effort, let me tell you. Okay, so I've talked a little bit about our key partnerships. Okay, so we have our instructional partner. This is huge shout out to Olivet Housing and Community Development Corporation. We have been partnered with them for about 3 years now, and it has been a stellar partnership. They provide computer basics classes as well as workforce development classes. We are currently working towards having like intermediate classes and having advanced classes for those who want it. So that's a nice expansion as well. But they are so very engaging and they care about the learning that's going on that they present. They go above and beyond in the attention that they take to make sure that the residents are learning what they want and need to. So we are so happy for our instructional partners. We also have instructional partners at East Cleveland Public Library. That is also a digital navigator that we partner with. And this partnership is especially cool also with East Cleveland Public Library, because not only are we doing, computer basics, but at the same time, they just started exploring the world of 3D printing. And it is, they're also training us to do the same. So, maybe like monthly, we go out to East Cleveland Public Library and they show us what they're learning about, and they demonstrate it, and they show us how to configure the printer. And in September, we're actually hopefully going to bring that out to a few communities where we can teach other residents how to do pretty simple tasks and make simple things with a 3D printer. So we're moving towards other like technical opportunities that our residents can like latch onto, which is neat. We work with a partner called ASC3. That's it's like Ashbury Computer Learning Center, and we have one partner that does a youth class with us. They do like a gaming class. The youth, they're crazy about it. They love it. It is super engaging. He goes into virtual reality, how to code in games, all that really cool stuff. So another cool like technical opportunity for our residents to see if they like. We have our internet service providers. So that's like down here, PCs for People, Digital C, Spectrum. PCs for People and Digital C like do a lot of other things besides give us internet. So PCs for People is one of our refurbishers. They primarily refurbish our laptops that we then give out to the residents. But they also provide internet now, and we are continually sending out PCs for People internet to other properties. They're at $15 a month. High speed, they're actually rolling out fiber internet for some of our properties now. So things are getting like bigger and better. There's always something new to technology, and it's incredible to see that our partners are also latching on to the progress that's being made in our technology. Let's see. And I talked a little bit about Digital C before, how we have that agreement with them and the city, because they've been contracted to blanket the city in internet service, and we are partnered with that. So we are knee deep in that initiative, and we really want to see them be successful, because that means our city is successful. It means our community is successful and has the right tools to be successful. So looking back at 2024, these are our impact numbers. We assisted over 1,500 residents. We connected over 800 households to internet service. We had over 500 devices distributed. And then we also do surveying. We do face-to-face as well. Surveys are hard, but they're so important. So we keep them short and sweet. The resident feedback is insanely helpful for us so that we know we're actually teaching the right things, giving out the right information. And our last survey results yielded an 85% improved digital confidence, meaning they feel good getting on their computer and doing the things that they need to in a day, going to their internet, checking their bank accounts, paying some bills online, getting into their resident portals. That's a big one. That's a newer thing that the Digital Navigators they've taken on, where we are trying to make sure that our residents feel supported in actually getting to their online portals or resident portals or applicant portals. They can check their status, their inspection statuses, all that good stuff. And now our Digital Navigators have the ability to change passwords, update emails, help our residents navigate through this this digital portal that we now have. Already to our future. So we will always continue to expand to more buildings, family properties, and now our voucher participants. So we've always assisted our voucher participants. We just need to support them more. That's the name of the game. We just need to support them more. Understandably, that our voucher participants are scattered throughout the community, but there are other ways that we need to think up in order to support those families and individuals. So while I'm talking about them, I'm going to jump down to the last to the last bullet and talk a little bit about how we plan to do that, or what our thought process is behind that. Because our voucher participants are expanded throughout a large area, what we'd like to consider is offering more of like a remote tech support option, making sure that our voucher, all of our residents, including our voucher residents, have the capacity to call in to our digital inclusion hotline and almost like make a ticket. Tell us what you need, and we can see if we can fulfill it, or we can get you to the right people who can fulfill it. If we can't do it, someone else can. But being able to have that sort of tracking, and not necessarily having to go out to the property and maybe helping remotely, I think would be pretty beneficial. And we'd also be able to track a whole lot of residents and what types of needs they're asking for, no matter where they're located. We also are working to add more like multilingual and disability support. So we have that for our resident digital navigators. Having the resident digital navigators able to work within their communities is definitely helpful to this type of disability support. More so when we're in the computer labs, we'd love to have specific devices for anyone who is visually impaired, hearing impaired. We do have relationships with some of the hearing and eye centers in the area, and they've given us some pretty cool gadgets that can be used in order to help anyone be able to see and hear and do the things they need to do on a computer, even if that is difficult for them in an everyday life. I talked a little bit about how we want to launch advanced skills workshops. So we've already kind of dabbled in the intermediate, and now we'd really love to figure out how to get advanced skills workshops out there. Larger technology skills that can be workforce transferable. Some of these skills can pop up into your life and you didn't know that you'd be good at it, and then you are good at it, and then you can make a career off of it. That is kind of where we're going here with like these advanced skills. And then our Train the Trainer program, we're going to keep doing that. Our dream of dreams is to go and serve all of our local advisory councils and get them super savvy on the technology needs that they have, so that then they can say, hey, MK, I need this type of class, but I will be like a resident assistant during that class. So we're not only supporting our partners, but we're supporting our resident leaders in fulfilling that type of leadership, and then getting that out to the other residents so that our resident leaders can train those residents. And it can kind of keep going. I think this is a real like giving power to our residents, giving power to people, to call the shots, to have the voice to say, this is what I need, and this is how I think it would be well received. Because like I said before, they know better than I do. The residents know better than I do what they need. And if we have resident leaders advocating for the residents out there, we can all work together to make sure those needs are met. And that is all I have for you all. That is the gist of the Digital Navigator program and the digital inclusion programming. That's our information. But I'm all done talking to y'all.